Hello indie game fans, the Steam Next Festival is next week, but here's a preview of things to come, with 11 titles whose demos should be playable this week before the event. So let's begin with Checkmate Showdown, a very curious title that crosses chess and fighting games, having the classic perspective of the strategy game that zooms into a 2D fighter when pieces interact. So with the cancellation of Ludwig's chess boxing, perhaps this might be of interest.
Ready, fight!
I caught wind of this title via Twitter, in which Merchant Legends looks like a Game Boy Color title, but interestingly, it's a city builder RPG, in which you're gathering resources, hiring workers, and building your own town. There's crafting, trading, and a whole open world to explore, even having enemies to battle, but interestingly, does not have classic turn-based combat, but rather is an auto-battler instead, looking like a very interesting throwback. This video is brought to you by Sovereign Syndicate, an ambitious-looking, narrative-focused CRPG set in the Victorian steampunk world in which society's most vulnerable has been going missing, and all signs point towards a mysterious cult. Most interestingly, instead of rolling dice for skill checks as in other CRPGs, this instead has a tarot card chance system in which NPCs will react to your character's gender, race, appearance, and the words that you choose, but does have the elements of fate and chance that might just swing things your way. It also has a 3-protagonist setup with intertwining stories, where, get this, the characters are an orphan minotaur magician, a corsair with a checkered past, and an automaton who wants more to life than just servitude, so how's that for an interesting cast? This game will be participating in the Steam Next Festival next week, but the demo is already live, so check it out via the link in the description below and wishlist the game if interested. If you love mecha or robot anime, I'm pretty sure that Battlecore Robots will be of interest, an arena brawler title in which customizable mechs battle for victory. The developer opens the trailer by mentioning a classic reimagine, but pardon my ignorance since I'm not exactly sure which game they're referring to, with my best guess being something like Power Stone due to the isometric perspective and fixed camera angle. However, the action does look good, and Armored Core 6 has shown that there is an appetite for games that allow you to customize mechs, so if, like me, you love this will probably be of interest. I admire and respect horror game developers from a distance, since, as a fan of clean pens, I generally do not mess around with these, but developer Tainted Pact is doing some amazing things in the space, with the next game, Terror at Oakheart, being of interest. This is a side-scrolling action title in which you play as various characters who are potential victims of a serial killer named Teddy, in which you are probably going to feel the adrenaline and terror of having to run away from this psychopath, with it looking to capture the vibes of an 80s and 90s slasher flick, and appears to be successful in doing so, so despite the pixel art, should be bloody, gory, and scary. The developer of this game reached out, and I thought that the name seemed familiar, and as was the art style of Rabbit and Steel, and lo and behold, this is the same developer behind Maiden and Spell, which was a competitive PvP bullet hell title, with this new iteration being a co-op roguelite bullet hell game, which, interestingly, hopes to capture the essence of high-level MMO raiding. I suppose that means playing your role, since there are different character classes having to work together to defeat enemy bosses, which, coupled with the sheer number of projectiles as well as attack indicated areas of various shapes and sizes, looks pretty intense but should be satisfying if you manage to beat the boss with your friends. Just a quick one here, since if I'm not wrong, the roguelite dice builder title, SpellRogue, did release an earlier demo which was very well received, so their participation in the Steam Next Festival probably indicates a release very soon, with this also being picked up by Ghost Ship Publishing, who are the Deep Rock Galactic people, so it has their stamp of approval. I've had my eye on this pixel art roguelike title for quite a while since Ending Tau looks neat and is from the developer of the very popular and very cheap Bullet Heaven roguelike platformer Sarah's Last Stand, with this entry looking to be much more extensive than their first game. Set in the world of lost folktales, fight your way across the planet to set your tribe free by ending Tau, which is something that turned every living being into monsters. You're able to morph every part of your body through curses, which are based on animals and mythical creatures like the wolf, armadillo, harpy and more, mixing and matching their abilities to suit your playstyle. The pixel art is fantastic with a very interesting blue, purple and orange colour palette, so for action game fans, give this one a look. I've also had my eye on this next title for quite a while, primarily due to its pixel art, which immediately grabbed my attention all those many years ago. But little did I know what kind of game Octopus City Blues was at the time, and now that more details have been revealed, has got me even more curious. It certainly has horror game vibes, in which you're in the last human city in a world covered in ice, with the monstrous metropolis and the inhabitants within tearing themselves apart, and you play as this blue-skinned person living in the city. I thought that this was a turn-based RPG, but it self-describes as the world's first Octopus City simulation in which you unravel dark conspiracies, talk to eccentric people, learn their schedules, and even spread rumors about others to further your own goals, looking so weird and has such a curious concept. I do think that 2023 might secretly be the year of the puzzle game, coming out of nowhere with a number of great titles, with Sandy's Great Escape looking like it has potential as well. This is a Sokoban-style block-pushing puzzle game in which you play as a crab, but with the twist that dying in a level causes a shell to be left behind, which essentially acts as a new block that you can use. I think that it looks wonderful with vibrant pixel art that looks good, with there being some devilish puzzles from the trailer due to things like conveyor belts, pits, ice, lasers, teleporters and more, so while it's a more niche genre, might be one of interest. Speaking of crabs, the next game from the developer of Going Under is titled Another Crab's Treasure, the self-styled crabbiest Souls-like title, coming to us from the very appropriately named Aggro Crab Studio. While it looks cute and cuddly, it is about as intense as they come when it comes to Souls-likes, with a variety of giant underwater creatures to battle relative to your tiny hermit crab protagonist. While it is underwater, I don't believe underwater physics will be a thing, and where the various crab shells that you can equip might have gameplay affecting properties as well, along with powerful umami combat techniques, and might be intense, with the best way to get a feel being to check out the demo, with more of the best upcoming games of the year in this video.